Renata here. Welcome to Fluent For Real, the channel where MC and I will take your English from intermediate to advanced. This video, as usual, is in English because we believe that your listening skills can only be improved by listening. If you want, please turn on the captions. If you are on YouTube and you want to make sure to concentrate on the lesson, change the speed of the video, making it faster. Your brain can process it and you don't give room to any distractions. Watching a video is different from studying a video. Bring your body into this lesson, but also your mind and your soul, your desire to learn more. Let's get going. As usual, we will practice while we learn. Once in class, I was teaching and we were having a conversation about pets. Everyone was sharing their love for their doggies or furry cats, telling stories about the little ones. One of the students came out and said, "I love dogs so much, I'll take my dog everywhere, even to the supermarket." Minutes later, someone mentioned something about dogs versus apartments, and the same student said, "Oh yeah, my apartment is too small for a dog." Everyone looked at him, trying to understand. Well, first he said, "I love dogs so much. I'll take my dog everywhere with me, even to the supermarket." And then he said he didn't have the courage to get a dog because his apartment was too small. So did he or did he not have a dog? That was our next question. Everyone was wondering. But wait, do you have a dog or not? "No, are you kidding? I want to, but I can't. My apartment is too small." So why did you say that you are willing to take it wherever you go, even to the supermarket? Well, the student didn't have the answer, but I did. He meant to say, I would take my dog everywhere with me, even to the supermarket. Do you do the same? Maybe you don't know how to use would yet. We need to learn the concept, when to use it, how to use it, or maybe you do know what it is. You understand when people use it around you. Maybe you even use it correctly sometimes, but you still can't use it automatically, correctly, every time you need. Is that your case? Leave it in the comments if it is. The basic substitution for this structure is usually one of the two, will or simple present. If I find a wallet in the middle of the street, I will return it to the owner. Is it grammatically incorrect? No. But the thing is, when you say, if I find a wallet in the middle of the street, I will return it, you are considering that this is a possibility for the future. It can happen in the future. And when it does, if it does, this is what you will do. You are considering that there is a chance this will happen. It's okay in this context. It's fine. But it doesn't work for something more fantastic, something really out of your reality, something that you really know is not going to happen or doesn't happen, something that you don't want the listener to think that you believe can happen. For example, at a business meeting and you're talking to your boss. If I can decide, I will go for the second project. Your boss will understand that you are either considering that you can decide, there is a possibility that the decision is up to you, or that you can ask permission to decide. Like, well, if you give me the permission, if I can decide, if you let me, this is my opinion. If you want to be more careful and demonstrate that you know you don't have the right to make the decision, you use the same sentence, but in the present unreal. Well, if I could decide, I would go for the second project. You are expressing that you can't decide. You know you can't. But if you could, that's what you would do. Can you see the difference? Example number 2. If I can turn myself into an animal, I will become a cat. They live the best lives. They hang out, they do nothing all day, they eat for free, they drink for free, they relax. But this sounds very strange, unless you do believe in magic or maybe you are 5 years old. If you don't believe that turning someone into an animal is possible in this world outside of Harry Potter books, then you can't use, if I can turn myself, I will become a cat. Because that conveys the idea of possibility. It is possible one day. If it's fantastic, impossible, not according to reality, then we use if with the simple past, the form of the simple past, okay? I'm just making it easier for you guys. The form of the simple past and would in the consequence. If, past, would. Oh, if I could turn myself into an animal, if I turned myself into an animal, I would definitely become a cat. Garfield. So no, don't use if with the present and will to express all the conditions. Get out of the basic. As I mentioned, another verb tense that is commonly used in this situation of hypothesis is the simple present. Incorrectly used, okay? Take a listen at a grammatically incorrect conversation about an unreal situation. Have you ever thought about winning the lottery? What would you do? First, I would buy a big house because I love houses. And I buy a sports car too. I think I buy a beach house, but I don't spend all the money, no. I invest the money, I give the money, part of the money to charity. Where are the mistakes? Yes, in the simple present. It's very common to start talking about something hypothetical with would and then forget that the rest of the conversation also needs to be with would. So when we're talking about something that's not real, we do not use simple present. I do this, I buy a house, I buy a beach house, I invest the money. I would invest the money, I would buy a beach house, I would give the money away to charity. Will is not unreal. Simple present is not unreal. So the first step to get out of that basic, to really use present unreal or the second conditional or unreal present the right way, is to first understand the idea, understand when to use it, understand the usage, the situations where it will be absolutely fundamental, and that simple present and will are not possible substitutes. There is no possible substitute for the hypothetical situation using would and other modal verbs that I'm not going to mention in this video. I think could is something that I'm going to mention too, but basically we're going to talk about would today. So when do we use it then? We use it in hypothetical situations, especially representing the present or the near future. If I'm talking about something unreal, that's not happening, that doesn't happen, that is not going to happen, that won't happen in the future, I can use would to translate, to express all these ideas. To get out of the concrete, get into the abstraction, get into something that is out of the present, past, and future. And that's a very strong element. It's a game changer when you are able to discuss, to argument, to talk to someone about something abstract. That's a real game changer for your communication. Think about children. As they are growing, they are able to talk about what they see, what they do, what they will do, maybe, after a certain age they can think about the future. But these steps are developed little by little. So when you get to the point of saying, I would do this if I could, I would do that if I had the chance, that is something that brings a very strong element into your communication. If you don't know how to use the abstract, you will have a lot of problems to talk about possibilities, to give someone suggestions and try to argument why that idea is good, what would happen if the person accepted that idea, what kind of consequences that would bring. So you're thinking about what hasn't happened yet, but could happen, what isn't going on now, but maybe you could do something to get there. So it's really rich. If you cannot use present unreal, if you cannot control, master the use of would and the condition, of course using if or other conjunctions too. We will only be talking about if in this video, but we have other conjunctions that can also be used to talk about hypothetical situations, alright? If you can't master that, you do not have the advanced little card yet. And we want you guys to hold that in your pockets all the time. There is a really cool video about 26 things that I believe fluent speakers do, and one of them is we are able to really say what we want without getting to a very simple structure, a very simple grammar structure. And if you are still there, if you're still, struggling with the simple because you can't get more sophisticated than that, we want to get out of that. One simple substitution is, I can't drive on the road very well, but I love road trips. How would you say that? If I could drive really well, I would go to the beach every holiday. I would invite different friends to come with me, and I would look tan all the time. Simple form, basic. I have many friends, so my birthday celebrations are always happy. If I didn't have so many friends, I think I wouldn't be so happy, you know? My parties wouldn't be so exciting, I wouldn't get so many presents, and I wouldn't hug so many people on the same day. So these situations are me thinking about what would be different in a different reality. I am thinking of a hypothetical situation based on a condition. If the reality were different, my reality is I can't drive very well. I have many friends. The if part, the condition, what causes the consequence is in the past. If I could drive, if I drove, if I had fewer friends, if I won the lottery, if I had more money, if I didn't have so many bills to pay. This part is also tricky, and more often than not, I see students using the present to talk about hypothetical situations. And the present actually means future possibility. Let's remember that. So it's like a combo. It's like a Big Mac, French fries, Coca-Cola combo. I have the if with the past, one part of the sentence, would in infinitive, the second part of the sentence. They can be inverted like that. I can start with would, finish with if, or vice versa. But it's always if and past, would in infinitive. If and past, would in infinitive. If and past, would in infinitive. Would infinitive, if and past. Would infinitive, if and past. Would infinitive, would infinitive. If and past. If and past. You got it. You're never gonna forget it again. Let's remember that I am not talking about any other modals right now in this video, but there are other modal verbs that can be used, okay? And other conjunctions too besides if. So this combo is like marrying and getting the in-laws. There is no way to separate them. Yes, you can use would alone without the condition. Sure, the sentence makes sense on its own. You don't always need the condition. I can see a situation, for example, see someone reacting badly to a situation and say, ooh, what would you do in that situation? I think I would react the same way without the if, but the if is implied. If you were in that situation, if this happened to you, what would you do? There's always an if implied, but it's not always in the sentence. That's okay. But if you do use if, you have to respect the combo. If, past, would infinitive. So let's go little piece by little piece. The if part. The if part is usually a context, a way to specify in that situation. It's a condition, it's a cause, it's a context to say, well, in this situation, under these circumstances, with this scenario, this is what I would do. That would be the consequence. And if is a conjunction, a connector of sentences. There are other conjunctions like unless, even if, and others that I'm not gonna mention now that can be used too, but they have different ideas, all right? If, unless, even if have different ideas. If you want a full lesson on conjunctions, leave it in the comments. Since I stopped, leave your like. Are you still with me? Leave your like. Subscribe to the channel. Check out the cards that I left around the video. Watch other videos on our channel. Time to exercise. Repeat after me. I don't have a master's degree. But if I had a master's degree, my neighbor's dog barks a lot. If my neighbor's dog stopped barking a little, I don't work out regularly. But if I had a more frequent workout routine, not so many people can contribute. But if more people could contribute, we may or may not go together. But if all of us went together, so that's the if part. Then you think of the consequence. The consequence is formed by subject plus would plus infinitive or could. I have a couple of examples with could too in this video. Okay, when I say infinitive, guys, I mean the infinitive without the to, the basic form of the verb. Go, see, buy, live, believe, learn. If I had a master's degree, I would get a pay raise. If my neighbor's dog stopped barking so much, my husband wouldn't be so stressed out. If I had a more frequent workout routine, my checkup results would be better. If more people could contribute, they would finish the children's hospital. If all of us went together, I would feel more comfortable arriving at the party. Now we're gonna do it together. First the condition, then the consequence. I will give you a piece of a sentence that is a reality, and I am going to give you the opposite, the hypothetical situation, if that were not true, if we had a different reality, okay? For example, I don't have. If I had, I don't like. If I liked, I spend. If I didn't spend, now you go. I deserve. I save. But if I forget, I remember. I need. I don't need. I eat. I drink. I don't work out. A little longer now. Create only the condition, just like we have been doing. I don't work out, but if my best friend spends too much on clothes, but if my mother can't speak English, but if few people donate the money to charity, but if my cousin doesn't eat meat, but if. So did you use simple past in all of these sentences? Save those ideas now. Let's think about the consequence. My best friend spends too much money on clothes, so she ends up not having money for a nice vacation. She would have the money for a nice vacation if she didn't spend so much on clothes. My mother can't speak English, but if my mother could speak English, what would be the consequence? Few people donate the money to charity, but if more people donated the money to charity, my cousin doesn't eat meat. But if he ate meat, so if the consequence of not saving money is she doesn't have money, that consequence of she doesn't have money becomes she would have money. If she saved, she would have money. Repeat after me. She doesn't have. She would have. She doesn't receive. She would receive. She doesn't appreciate. You try. She doesn't live. She doesn't recognize. She doesn't deserve. She prefers. She reacts. So we worked first with the condition if plus past. If she saved money, she would have more money, she would travel. If she saved money, if she could speak English, and then we work with the consequence. She would travel more, she would have better vacations, etc. Now we're going to put it together, but first I have a little comment to make about the verb to be. When we're thinking about present and real, talking about hypothetical situations, we only use one form of the verb to be. In the simple past of the verb to be, we have two forms, was and were. She was, I was, they were, we were, etc. But when we're thinking about if, we are always going to use were. Grammatically, that's the correct form. Yes, of course, native speakers don't respect that rule very frequently, but I don't want to get into the exceptions now. I don't want to get into the formal versus informal right now because this video is already very dense with a lot of information. So I just want you to learn the grammatically correct way, master that, and then you can move on to choosing maybe a more informal way of saying it. So the verb to be is she is. If she weren't. She is, repeat after me. If she weren't. They are. If they weren't. It isn't. If it were. I'm not. If I were. John is not. If John were. If she were here, she would love to see you. So now let's focus on the usage, full sentences. I'm going to give you the reality, a cause and a consequence in the reality, a cause and a consequence in the present, and you're going to give me the hypothetical situation on top of that. My friend is living abroad, so she can't come to my birthday party. Create the full sentence for me. But if, and here's the answer, check it out. The system is down, so I can't swipe your credit card, I'm sorry. But if, my manager takes time off every Christmas, so I can't do the same. But if, my clients appreciate nice packaging, so I invest in that. But if, good job! Now, I am the advocate of interrogatives. I need to remind you guys that the interrogative form is as essential as anything else. So if you are beautifully stating things, saying what you would do, what people would do, what you think would happen, but you're not asking questions properly, 50% of your job is not well done. Have you been practicing your questions? So how does it work with the present and real? The main part is the would part. That's the main sentence. The if part is let's say, a less important part. The condition is just illustrating the context. But the action itself, the more important part, is the would part, the consequence. The condition remains the same, and we just invert the modal verb and the subject, like this. Would they be canceling their TV deal if the internet weren't a better channel? Would they be canceling it? Would they? They would be. Would they be? I could swipe. Could I swipe? She would prefer. Would she prefer? Let's practice the main part. They would be. Would they be? I could swipe. Could I swipe? She would prefer. Now you do it. She would live. She would appreciate. She would enjoy. She would disagree. She would discuss. It would cause. It would change. It would bring. Yeah, baby, I gotta tell you, if you practice throughout this video, I am telling you, it will make a difference. And if you want to watch it again and do it one more time, guys, this output of practice is so magical. It's gonna make a huge difference for you. I promise you, stick with me, do it, and I promise that every second invested will be worth it. So now that you have understood the idea, you have practiced the structure and the sequence of the elements, you need to go to your real life, real people around you and practice. Get your friends from real life, friends from the virtual world, make friends online that are willing to learn English with you. And I'm gonna leave in the comments, I'm gonna leave 170 hypothetical questions that you guys can use and as a game with friends on a weekend or not. There is a wide range of questions about every topic. Fun, interesting, what would you do in this situation? If this happened to you, how would you react? and you can say what you would do and why and try to justify, and just remember, program yourself to be talking about hypothetical situations using would. Forget simple present, forget will, because it's not about the future, it's about an unreal situation. So use the link, guys, use the link that I'm leaving in the description box below on YouTube. If you're watching this on IGTV, I'm sorry, you just need to go to YouTube and get the link because Instagram won't let me link anything to you guys. Blame it on them. Learn, practice, and use. Subscribe to the channel if you like this video to get more awesome content. We have videos here every week, at least twice a week, long videos, some shorter videos throughout the week, every now and then as well. And we are on Instagram every single day. So take your English to the next level with MC and I. We are also live every Wednesday on Instagram at 9 p.m. Brazil time. See you guys. Bye-bye.